Okay, welcome back to our Beatrice YouTube channel. Today we'll be learning how to make this beautiful trendy sleeve. Okay, it has a basic sleeve here, a ruffle, a band and peplum. It's very simple to make and it's really elegant. If this is what you like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. So to make this sleeve, you need your basic sleeve pattern, and I have my basic sleeve pattern drafted here already. So it's around 14 inches. Okay, so the sleeve is around 14 inches in length. That's the total length with allowances. If you look at the sleeve, you will see that it has like different designs. It has like a ruffle around the bicep area, and it also has like flare at the hemline. Okay, so for our ruffle, I want my ruffle to start around 7 inches. That's around my bicep area. So I'm going to be measuring 7 inches from the apex here, and then I'm going to make it into a straight line. So my chalk may not be too visible, but what I'm doing is I'm measuring 7 inches, and then I'm going to make it into a straight line, and that is going to be where my ruffle placement is going to start. So the line has been marked here. Now it may not be so visible. So for your ruffle, you need to cut a straight fabric, and to know the amount of fabric you need, you can just measure the area where you're going to be gathering it. I have around 18 inches here, so you can multiply this 18 inches by 3 to get your ruffle, or as much as you want. Okay, so I have around 60 inches length of fabric here for my ruffles. It's just a straight fabric of 60 inches length, and the width is around 7.5 inches. So I'm going to be gathering this here now, and to gather it, I'll simply place the right side of the fabric against the right side of the basic sleeve like this. I hope you understand what I'm doing. Remember, this is the upper part of the sleeve, so I'm going to be gathering it, then I'll fold it like this. So I'm going to be placing the right side of this ruffle on the right side of the basic sleeve, and then I'm going to be gathering it like this. So I'm going to be gathering all the 60 inches to fit into the 18 inches space that I have here. So I'll go and gather this now and bring it back to show us. Okay, so I've gone ahead to gather it, as you can see. And once you gather it and you fold it like this, the right side will be on the right side of the fabric. Okay, so now to complete the ruffle, I'm just going to flip it backward. Then I will take my tape rule from where I sewed this gather, the first gather. I'll measure 3 inches downwards like this, and then I'm going to make it into a straight line again, just like I did for the first one. So from where the sewing of the first gather stops, I'm measuring 3 inches downwards, and then I'm making it into a straight line. Sorry, the chalk is not so visible, but I'm sure we understand what I'm doing. I'm just measuring 3 inches, and then I'll make it into a straight line. So I've made the line. It's not so visible because of the color of the lace, but I can see it. So this is the 3 inches line. Now to complete this, I'm just going to fold it over like this. The other part of the straight line, remember we've gathered one side, so the other side that is not gathered, I'm going to gather it on the 3 inches mark line that I have like this, just the same way I gathered this one. I'm going to gather everything that I have here also to fit into this straight line that I have. I'll do that now and bring it back to show us. Okay, so as you can see, I've gathered it here, and you can see the ruffle that this is giving us now. Okay, so now the next thing is for us to cut out our flare and attach it. But before the flare, there is like a band there. So there are two ways you can do this band. You can either cut this off and sew it back, but I don't want to cut it off because I want to try to conceal these rough edges. So to conceal these rough edges now, I'm just going to fold this fabric over like this, and then I'm going to stitch on it. So I'll just try to feel where I've stitched before. So by the time I stitch on it and I fold it, I'll have something like this, and then on the other side it will be fairly neat for me. Okay, so you can either cut this off then sew it back, or just do it the way I'm doing by just flipping this over, sewing it on it, and then I'll have this to form my band. So I've gone to do that now, and you can see that it is neat on this side, and then on the other side also you can see that there are no frills here. I've tried to conceal it inside this seam that I have. So now the last thing to do now is to measure the circumference here where we're going to be attaching our sleeve, and then to cut out our flare. And to cut out our flare, it's a double flare. So the measurement I have here is 16 inches, and it's a full circle flare. So the 16 inches, I'll be dividing it by 6.28, and that's giving me around 2.5 for my radius. Okay, so my radius is 2.5, and the length of the first flare is going to be around 5 inches. So I've already cut that out. I used 2.5 for my radius here, and this length I used 5 inches, and then I went ahead to cut 2, and then I added interface to one of them and use them to turn each other and ironed it out neatly like this. I don't want this video to be too long, and we've been doing something similar on the channel, so I just decided to do that off camera. So now for this is the longest part, the longest flare. Remember, it's a double flare. So for the second flare, the radius remained the same, 2.5, but the length this time around differs. The length is around 3 inches. So I just folded my fabric into 4 like we've cut our normal flare, and then I measured 2.5 inches radius, and then for the length I measured 3 inches. So I'm using lace fabric for this part, and then I lined it with the same doll face material. So now I'm going to be placing this on this. Okay, so I placed the shorter one on the long one, and then I sew it to the leftover of my sleeve. So you can see this is the upper part of the sleeve, this is the ruffle part, this is the small band I was talking about, and this is my flare. So now to complete the sleeve, I just need to take the side seam together like this, and then shape the side seam, then I'll attach it to the blouse, and then you will see what it looks like on the mannequin. So this is what the sleeve looks like after attaching it to the blouse. It's very simple to make, as you can see. You can give this a try, and let's see what you come up with. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. The tutorial on how to make this blouse is also up on the channel. You may want to check that out if you really like it. See you in the next one. Bye.